to Kākoʻo, ʻŌiwi. It's a much better location than I think our past meetings were.
The biggest definitely.
Yeah. It's first time here. Just raise your hand. Got some dinosaurs. I think later we're gonna have a tour from Kākoʻo, so we'll get back. But for now, we got some work to do. So calling to first approve the minutes from the commission meeting on July 6th, 2025. If you guys have read that at a time, I can get a motion. Second. Don't move. Don't move. Second. Yeah. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? The motion approved. Minutes have been approved from the last commission meeting. So now we're going to kick it off to Amy for update on the OER report.
Okay. We'll try to keep this really quick so we can get into why we're here to meet with COA and everyone else here at Kākoʻo ʻŌiwi, but you have the presentation in your folder. So just to kick it off, number one, I think this is the first meeting that Deb has joined us as the new deputy at OER. Deb Zeisman comes to us with many years of leadership experience from HCAN, Hawaii Tobacco Free Coalition, as well as multiple other community-based organizations she's been involved with, etc. Super excited to have her on board. Gavin Thornton is now our other partner in crime. He's the housing director over in the Department of Housing and Land Management. Working on some other stuff with him too, with regard to Kalihi. So really exciting to have new team members bringing new energy. But back to our this year's priorities. Procurement preference for local small business. Deb can update on that. The pilot small business incubator, Alyssa will update on that. And then my short update on advocating for the use of vacant city property. We've got a lot of potential, a lot of ideas, and we've been waiting not so patiently for the Department of Housing and Land Management and Enterprise Services to work out some of the differences around concessions with the city council. So some of it is a little political differences between the council and the administration. But I think the sections that OER is pushing forward in terms of waiving fee or lease agreement standard competition for economic and community development is fairly strongly supported by a majority of council members. So once things get written and approved by the attorneys, I think we'll be able to start a round of meetings with council members on the new language. And our Economic Recovery Corps fellow, George Yarbrough, comes to us from the University of Hawaii Office of Innovation, and he is spearheading kind of the practical manifestation of that, as well as our small business loan initiative. So I guess one last thing on the next page before I hand it over is we're super excited to work. Also, I almost forgot that Kākoʻo ʻŌiwi was one of our vendors at our farmers market with our Bloomberg Mayor's Global Challenge prototyping events. We got such good feedback in this idea of establishing food hubs at our rail transit stations. So the idea was to take our assumptions, take our big dreams, and have the community and residents give us feedback. So we tried food bank distributions with their new mobile market. Went really well. Over 150 folks signed up and were able to take, kind of shop for their food out of this refrigerated. The farmers market was managed by Elapaio Social Services. So they already have a bunch of farmers and vendors, including Kākoʻo, who work with them. So of course, the Kulolo Crunch sold out, as you will soon find out. But just having support from Waipahu High School and others, so much excitement. Just really happy that we got such a I would just almost say overwhelming positive response from the public, kind of telling us in terms of the planting that we tried at the stations, ulu, leafy greens, more indigenous produce, that they're really excited and basically they wanted to see more. So the $1 million was submitted, but I'm happy to say we also, since we last met, got $500,000 from the city council from the Climate Resiliency Fund. We have a pending $500,000 earmark. Another 100,000 that we just submitted in a private grant from the Reinvestment Fund Healthy Food Financing Initiative. All to go towards this, as well as a USDA farmers market promotion program for 200,000. Any questions on that?
When did March start?
Sorry,
When did March start? Normal? That message?
a couple of weeks ago, yeah.
We can have to do.
He's being loaned to us from.
So it's, no, the Economic Development Administration is running Economic Recovery Corps Fellows Program. So we won a spot. We had a person who we introduced you to before, David. He ended up getting a job with the US Small Business Administration and moved to Washington, DC to run a new program there. I haven't heard, not sure how that's going, but not well.
Dog got cut when he got there.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, so always remember, stay in Hawaii. Stay in Hawaii. So George, we did a second round of recruitment and George, same, his job was being eliminated at the university due to federal funding cuts. So he is a great addition to our office in terms of his depth of expertise. And we'll have him through the end of next year.
The,
It's too little.
planting at the rail stations, there's been so much
Media.
concern, media, but historically, there's been so much concern and legal kind of things, you know, around planting plants in public spaces. How is the city navigating that?
We're sort of taking the DR Horton approach because they were one of the first that we solicited, wanting to demonstrate this both on our city land where the land is entitled to us, and also where we have an easement from DR Horton to see what it's like to work with a private developer on a project like this. So we intentionally picked those stations for that purpose. And we're this is the pilot, right? So we planted, we posted signs, the signs say, you know, this is for you, this is for the community. Here's a code you can scan, give us your ideas for what else you'd like to see planted here. But we hope when these vegetables, produce, that you'll be able to come and get them. So of course, some people like pulled the lettuce right out of there. But honestly, one of the women said, oh, I thought that's what we were supposed to do. No, you're supposed to like pick it so it can grow again, right? But that said, we're kind of taking the approach of everyone at DTS and those who manage the station have been super supportive. They want to see that there. They're excited that the community is coming to the stations for this purpose. And so we'll just kind of see how it goes and add layers of what the lawyers want to tell us about it later. So that if we get the Bloomberg funding, that's where we hope to land after the 2 years, is what kind of regulation, what kind of city rules need to be in place to manage growing on city land. And we hope ultimately that each of these stations is sort of like adopt a park.
It's not just city land, it's like public spaces, right?
It's public spaces that we're going for. So we're starting with rail stations and hope that it can be bigger and broader.
How big are the lots?
Small. I mean, we're prototyping right now.
Right.
So there are 8 ulu trees, which we were like same as Olu, very skeptical that this could work, or that we wouldn't get a lot of pushback from the other city agencies. But that's been the wonderful thing for all of us, is to see this embrace from other departments, this excitement about doing it. So the ulu trees were there. We've planted Kākoʻo, we planted a bunch of Filipino fruits and vegetables that they like at the Waipahu station. And ultimately, what was planted in planters and in some cases in the landscape areas of the rail stations is what our consultant from through the Division of Urban Forestry told us would grow in the place. Yeah. So they're small right now to demonstrate, and the land, it just depends. Each station is completely its own soil. Yeah.
For the record, I'm not skeptical. I'm just interested in knowing how you guys are doing it. 'cause
You
I
should
would
be
like- I
skeptical.
would like to
You
support
would-
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, not skeptical. Support it.
Yay. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Alyssa, take it away.
So we wrapped up Idea to Spin a little over a month ago. The formal portion of the cohort at least. We had 15 participants graduate from the program. Still doing ongoing workshops every month. I didn't include it in the slides, but we actually also had 3 of the participants be accepted into Wetsy's new incubator, Waianae Moku Maybe. And to this initial cohort, and I think 2 more accepted into the next cohort as well. So really excited that they're continuing their business growth journey. Yeah, so that's Idea to Biz. Any questions or comments on Idea to Biz? Thank you. Olin, who came to the graduation, it was really great to see them all get out, share their business ideas that not too long before the graduation, and thank you. Many of them were having trouble even just articulating what their business was, so they grew a lot in a short period of time. Oh, and I forgot to mention that Kayla here is working on some of the data, but initial data point of 60% of the participants from the first meeting to the last one reported a 60% increase in entrepreneurial. Any questions on Idea to Biz?
So that 60%, is that like my personal experience increased by 60%, or is it like 60% of participants said they felt like their confidence increased?
60% of the participants said their confidence increased from the first module, first day, to the last module, last day.
I don't know.
I would, some of them came in saying they were very, very confident on.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering.
Right, so just so you know, some have some moxie, as you know, which is something you want in an entrepreneur. They were like, I'm a 10 out of 10 on confidence, and so they maintained that throughout.
Right.
Where were they from? What areas did they do?
So they were all from the west side. The first for the east was Waipahu. Most of them were from Waianae. A couple from Waipahu, a couple from Eva. I think 1 or 2 from Kapolei, but most of them were.
I feel like Waianae is sort of somewhat exploding. You get back to the Paha, like there's all these pockets of development that you don't even realize is happening in, high end, several $1 million properties back there. So I feel like maybe that energy is permeating the community, which is awesome.
Yeah, we're super excited to see where they go. All 15 of the participants who graduated registered their businesses, so they have formal businesses. 14 of the 15 opened bank accounts with Hawaii USA. So yeah, I'm really excited to see their growth and progression.
I think it's important more than ever because I heard InPeace had got some of their funding taken away. So all their entrepreneur programs are gone. So it's really important more than ever. Yes.
Didn't Hawaii USA bailed out? They said they were gonna also give another chunk of cash out for.
They did. If they're still in business after 6 months, the initial $1,250 that they got and their business bank accounts will get another $1,250. As long as they're just still in business. And then stay open Oahu, we're still in the procurement phase for a local consultant to help us develop some of the website content, workshops or whatnot. But we have been working with our consultant to help us build a Oahu business connector. Sorry, hard to pass. So we do have a meeting next week on Wednesday with potential stakeholders. So everyone here is also invited if you're available to be in. To really talk about what disaster resilience of small businesses mean, what each of the stakeholders bring to the table, and really share what we are trying to do with the Open Oahu. DM will also be a part of the meeting for briefly to just really share like what the city's perspective is on disaster management for small business. So I'm really excited about that. And then our resource connected team has continued to do outreach in the community to help businesses assess where they are readiness for disasters. Most of the businesses are not ready for disasters. They think insurance is enough. Some don't even realize they're in a risk zone, whether that's a flood zone, the wildfire. So there's the initial like awareness that they might be at risk for things. But we're also working with our data team is Kayla, with Kayla to also create that baseline so that we can also track the program success. They hope to see these businesses grow and not just awareness, but really prepare them for disasters as well.
Is disaster also like when the electricity goes out? Okay.
Yeah, so we're really thinking about the full gamut of disasters. So another pandemic. Yes, you know, the electricity outage in Chinatown that a bunch of businesses were affected by, cybersecurity as well. So really thinking about all of those external factors that can really impact business operations.
Can I get Greg to say something? Because you actually are a teacher. You don't have to force me too much. People want me to shut up. Do this, but I did 3 classes there, and I have to say, initially I was like, a little wine-eyed, because normally we're in Honolulu, right? And so I had kind of a bias when I went out there. It was great. Loved meeting entrepreneurs. And then it hit me that this is the exact right place to be. Even though it's inconvenient for us, that doesn't really matter. The fact it's inconvenient for us is the reason why it's good. No one goes there, right? So these programs. So I applaud you for that. Number 2, I think you guys did a great job just getting it off the ground with very little money, And so I'd like to see them have more money in their future, but it's good to have not much money sometimes because it makes you creative, right? And the ideas were, it's when you not some of them don't seem, but who knows, right? They might be winners, but there's small business ideas that I totally support. But I think to certain things is there follow-up with people, like sometimes programs just do it and say, but we should follow up them state, but also that maybe we can leverage what they do to help us. Like we can start having we can go to Bloomingdale's like not.
Yeah, if they want to come,
You can have a little.
they can all get invited if they want.
Yeah,
Maybe not this year,
Yeah, so I'm inviting the whole, I don't know why not, the whole board's invited.
But as you keep doing the cohort, you're gonna start creating a portfolio of companies that want to pass, right? These are earlier stage, but still, I know Petsy needs some new chairs at the Y. So you have to think about the future, leveraging your good work. I would also say that it was definitely a great effort, but you want to keep upgrading the classes. Because I went to some of the legal ones, and I think it could be. In fact, you could get volunteership for free. I was kind of surprised you didn't ask me to teach a class. That's what normally happens, but I just sat there, so I had to interject. I had to barge in. But anyway, but great start. I'll just keep it going.
Thank you.
And also, you made people start companies. And I was thinking initially, it took me aback a little bit, like maybe they're not ready or something. But I think forcing them is a good thing. Because the hardest part is starting in that business, right? And the money had to go to their business account, so they can just go to Vegas. So that's a good thing. That was a good aspect of it. Because they were right there at the computers. One time I went there, he said, "Let's form your company." They're gonna file for you right here on the spot. Like that's entrepreneurial. That's pretty good. So I asked you, I think, when they applied, did they know they have to actually start a business? Because some of these incubators, it's more just testing the waters. So I don't know if they knew or not, but it didn't really matter. We made them do it. So they had to come up with something.
Yeah, I mean, I think in most of the communication it was clear, but we did realize midway through that some of them didn't realize, that it was to start a business. Some of them also didn't realize that there was going to be seed funding at the end either. They were just coming up every week because they really were just motivated and wanted to. And then midway through, they're like, "Oh wait, there's money associated with it." So that was great.
That's good. That means they came for the right reason.
Right.
Good job. When's the next one?
Whenever we have money.
Yeah.
You have $25,000.
Yeah, I want to point out too, the Oahu Business Connector website has 80+ members. Who we, on a daily basis, Alyssa's team of 4 resource connectors connect small businesses to as they're out there in the community talking to them. So a lot of them have been reliant on federal grants and other funds. And having them participate gave us an opportunity to pay them, to show them like that's what being on the Oahu Business Connector can do for you, right? They're not, you know, Keone or Meli material yet, but we feel like this is an area, as you guys agreed, that helping take people from an idea or a side hustle to a legitimate business is what we need to stimulate more of. And we need to build capacity in the organizations in the community that help us do that. We're not trying to do that at OER, but if we can fund those who need to maybe up their skills for legal services and resources or business planning or anything else that they were taught in the different modules, we hope to have a gentle and trust building experience in helping us to provide that feedback and build their capacity, because in a lot of cases, they need people or they've lost people. They may be a one-man show. You know, what was Waianae Economic Development Council is maybe fewer people at any given time of the year, as you well know, be dependent on grants and other resources. So we're trying to be a stable source of funding, and this is a program to start demonstrating that.
So can we,
In person or online? In person. In person.
can we put together a picture? Because I think we could look at what's going on there, like there are a couple of banks, a couple of insurance companies, you know, Island Insurance, very. You don't need that much money, you only got 25,000 something.
Yep.
But I mean, I would probably double that. When you have a good story to tell now. The worst thing can happen is they say no. Are you, I'm happy to accompany you to those.
Yeah, that was
Sure,
really.
the commission has connections that we could make referrals. It'd be good to get, you know, a big organization in the door and then they can go there and support. Because it's out in, you know, why not other rural areas where it aren't served? I mean, very efficient, you know, I mean, those are two big things.
Right. Moving,
Soon, tomorrow.
yeah, I mean, Alyssa's the one who did that program, and Alyssa's the one who's starting up Stay Open Oahu and running the Transit Construction Mitigation Fund and managing a team of 4. So
Capacity.
Capacity.
If you need help. If I can help.
I think the idea is when we're ready. Yeah. When she can get Stay Open Oahu starting to move forward, then we can reimagine phase 2 of the pilot of the Idea to Biz incubator. There's a lot of different ideas. Some other areas in the city are working in the area of childcare and trying to incubate more childcare businesses, more licensed, more unlicensed home care, trying to move the unlicensed to licensed. So there's different areas. We could work with folks who are in public housing who need a side hustle. They've been talking about and worried about the cuts in federal funding for people who are living in public housing or Section 8 who may not be able to rely on it for who knows how long. So we have a lot of different ideas, not to mention geography, where we could take a program like this. So
Was it challenging having people starting from all different types of businesses?
Yes and no. I mean, we were really just looking at general foundations of entrepreneurship. There were some participants who want to do something a little bit more specialized or like especially manufacturing. Some of our participants who have like retail type businesses who need to figure out how they're going to source the material, source the product, and then also the inventory management of it all too. When they order and then having the capital to be able to place a large enough order. So they had some different challenges, but we really were just looking at this very broad foundational aspects of entrepreneurship, like how do you write a business plan? How do you register your business? Things like that, like a marketing plan. So yes and no, I think that we could do something that's more specialized in the future. And then our resource connectors, we're also keeping them engaged with other specialized resources as they went along, like with manufacturing or other things that might require other kinds of permits or like.
Well, it sounds like you have a challenge that money can solve. And sometimes not money. Like if you had more staff. And I hear these capacity issues, but really creative would be good. Like Lulupono gave your net social network, right? 3 years of money. What was it called? Cut it, right, cut it. And right, so there's seed funding, so you can put into your commitment for say $1 million like we did. I don't know if that was the number. I thank you, and I think we can probably help them with. I'm happy to talk about Steve. Yeah, I mean, why not?
I don't think that's a huge concern.
It's more that has to be.
Yeah.
We need another Alyssa now.
Hmm?
We need another Alyssa. Rather than.
Yes.
Park, yeah, she needs assistance. Anyway, great, I'm done. Step next.
You're putting everybody on the spot.
I put myself on the spot, sure. No strain, no gain. So I mean, is Deb next with her updates?
The last page is current funding and programs that are ongoing and that we're running, the funding that's available for them. For anyone you know who, I don't know, may have lost a job, looking for a job, Good Jobs Oahu, our city funding is still sitting there at UH, being expended as people apply to take the free training. So in their area of healthcare, skilled trades, clean energy, technology-related jobs, and creative industries. So if you know of anyone, again, it's free certificates, free skill building in those areas. You just go to the Good Jobs Hawaii website and they can dig around there.
Is it not working? Or was it okay?
We thought it would be expended at some point, maybe like this summer. It's probably gonna last till 2026 summer, the way it looks. So it's a matter of like, right, you sign up for a course, and so that's $3,000 taken out of the budget. Don't get me wrong, it's a $5 million program. We've expended $4+ million. So it's going, it's working. We've done some great trainings, whether it be plant propagation and the city gets some new employees, or technology with Hui Huliao. We've been supporting their work out on Waiana. But just for your awareness, and just to, UH doesn't promote the program a lot. And so I think people forget it's available. Still. So that's it.
Next, we have a short. Oh, sorry, I skipped over.
Most important things.
We've got two new business items. What happens when you have the backup person run the meeting? We got two new business items. One is we gotta create our commission report. So we need to create a big, and I believe the chair and vice chair are automatically part of that thing. Yep. So we're looking for volunteers, now volunteer, because I think I need to help. I'm gonna volunteer myself to be a member. Okay, so there's a couple of things we have to do. One is write our report for 2025. And then also, you have to look at, we've got another $25,000 of discretionary funding that we have to place somewhere. So we have to toss around some ideas. Recommendation for that money. Hopefully I have a brain 26 agenda too. Yeah, all raise your hands at once, but if anyone is interested in joining us. Okay, Tony, someone else?
I'm a baby, I got a son.
Lady.
So I said, well, that's not crazy.
And do you know if Eliza had mentioned that she was overthinking the street?
I think she did.
You did, yeah. It's like, you remember, so I'm gonna nominate Eliza as well.
Okay.
She wanted to chair. That's right. She was really bummed she didn't make it today to express her desire, so.
It was last minute. Unfortunately, her son is. Got called.
So as of now, we've got 3 folks nominated, myself, Tony, and Eliza. I get a motion to accept the nominations. Second, all in favor?
I,
Opposed? Motion passed. All right, we're gonna grab this documentation together. I think this year was like no AI, that's the regular. So no AI. Okay, next is because Reed left us, so now he's running a credit union in the western part of California.
oh, yeah.
Yeah. COO, I believe.
Oh,
Pretty.
oh, he moved.
He moved out. It was done. We'll come back at some point. But because we're looking for nominations for a commission member representing the area of sustainable economics. So at this point, I believe Amy would need a point of reference if you have folks that you would like to report.
So the official process is, the mayor appoints all of you or anyone to the commission. Deb is also up this year and, she has accepted the challenge.
Something. I just have to fill out all the people. I'm like, what? All this again?
Yeah, yeah. Tony's been through the ringer again, as has Olu has been through the ringer again. That's why I did 5 years. So, the area of sustainable economics, in my mind could be just about anything. But if you think, or you know of, there's a good person who you think would be a great addition to the commission going forward, we would welcome getting a resume or some, sign of interest. And really, it sounds like the mayor's team is open to who the commission members might suggest or put forward. And we just need to do it quickly. So then we could move Deb's nomination and the new members at the same time. It's multiple times to the city council, but same as.
Said thought. I haven't worked with any of them in a lot of detail personally, but I know the economic work that Bureau does is used pretty broadly. And if there's an opportunity to create more alignment between the work that's coming out of this commission, at this department, the city, as well as the state. Intermediary like Bureau having representative, it's involved here, that'd be beneficial. Not sure who that would be, but just a thought.
I think it's a goal.
Discussion?
Fantastic. Boy,
And I don't know. Melly, Rachel Guyton?
Which one?
Rachel Guyton.
She's
She's relatively new, but she does development with her. She started Snow Monkey with the.
Oh, I know Rachel, yeah.
Yeah,
Young, right?
Mhm.
yeah. I can't text her, but I know she was doing some developing in China. So I know she showed in actually filmation so, but I haven't seen her in a bit, so I'll text her.
Yeah.
But she
You
might.
do have to be a registered voter in the city and county of Honolulu. That's.
I think,
the main
yeah,
one.
I think she is, she has,
She's a house.
yeah, she has a house.
Yeah.
And she's got some development.
We failed to register to vote and become eligible.
Tony, you're not gonna do that. Tony, stop it.
Right.
Yeah, she did.
Any last
Yeah.
discussion? Oh, I don't. The procurement day was still on my support. We do not have a second for old business, so I'll add it.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, I just want to update everyone quickly that because of the law that prevents preferences from happening, we're trying to amend the law we is unclear right now, but I drafted an amendment. If I sent to the attorneys at the Senate, they're gonna prepare a bill. Yeah, we can still change it, but the basic structure is there's a tiered reference based on the amount of the contract. From 0 to 10 million. It's kind of on the lower side contract, so I didn't want us to go too crazy the first time. Someone had asked at one meeting for rail get a preference, and I don't see why not, right, the local contractor, but. Anyway. The numbers could change, but that's the overall structure of it. Did you know CPAs get a 20% local preference? There's not quite about it, but it's in the statute, so I kind of caught the road going go from there. No one can say that.
Government contract?
Yeah,
That's new about a year ago.
it's anti-competitive, right? But anyway, so that's a good precedent for us, because the maps preference that I'm putting in the draft was 5%. Pretty modest, but it's still meaningful. You know, if you lose a contract by $1,000. So,
Well, because we have the GET, and so that's how we lose contracts. So if it's a little bit. I think that.
well, yeah. We have other challenges of costs, but you know, I don't know what the right numbers are, but. You know, I'm sure, I think Glenn said the Senate will put together, you know, powers that be will put together. Case study. It's
I'll chime in. Greg is not aware yet, but I'm also floating Greg's proposal through the county to see if the mayor would like it to be included in his priority package, which there's a few ideas on the table, but I think it's potential. And then it means it would have the backing of the mayor, the city's lobbyists would be working on it, et cetera, as in
Does
addition.
that mean the mayor would submit it? That's a city.
No, it's usually there's a package that each county comes forward and says,
Event.
these issues are, you know, these 5 to 8 things are the mayor's, the county's priorities, and but it adds some more weight to it in terms of like, this is
Yeah,
this is a good thing
absolutely.
for our county, something that gets a little more press, things like that.
It could just die or could be someone, I don't know, but I'm
Correct.
told the chair wants deals like this by August. I don't think on those titles have not ready. If you want to go in the body, it says this is what they want. This is what we want. But the reason I submitted it with Glenn was this is a statewide bill and it impacts more than the city of Honolulu. So for the city to come in and push it statewide law change, you know, be a little tough. I don't know, creates some dynamics, but anyway, if it's just an at-large bill that cities can support, counties can support, and I think that's their big position. But we'll see. It may take several years to get any back to the law, but it's educational too. Yeah, we need to do something to support local businesses here.
CPA's got that piece of legislation.
Is that,
Do you know how the CPA's got that?
We sent you the testimony.
yeah, I was
Just-
actually at a number of hearings, it was in the 24 session, not the 25 session. They just came in and were discussing how much business they were losing to CPAs on the continent. It's a very similar structure to what.
Out of
Greg is
curiosity,
proposing.
what would the city hire mainland CPA?
So cheaper.
But
You
for
mean
what?
over a local?
Yeah, like
Auditing, audit things, any sort of.
department level audit.
Right,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's
Local law.
Yeah.
big contracts for auditing in the
Large
city.
projects.
Very
I
large.
believe they had a percentage and then they went in to increase it. That's my recollection of the history of it.
That's the exact reason we should have this, because if we play that forward, if the county is sending all their business to the mainland, and how's the local CPA firm gonna build a bench? If they don't have enough work.
Yeah.
So then they become smaller and smaller, and the mainland guys get bigger and
And
bigger.
I can't imagine the CPAs would be against this bill.
No, but that was,
But
that
again, it's
was
gonna be
the
like
argument
county
that we
would be
need to
hiring
have local
Deloitte or
CPAs.
EY.
Well, I'm asking because I'm wondering what their argument was, because maybe that's the same argument that should be made for.
It was really that we are losing local sort of infrastructure and workforce. And I remember there even were conversations at the time, you know, why just CPAs? Why not broader? But it was the CPAs in there asking, right?
Well,
So-
no, but we really are losing a lot of CPAs. We don't have
Yeah.
enough firms, like they're
Correct.
closing. It's
A lot of
scary.
law business goes to me, that's not bad. They have options. The other thing is capacity building. If we don't have local business and you're not gonna build capacity to take bigger contractors on. Because you want to wean them off the reference. So if they're bidding on a $20 million contract, they probably shouldn't be the preference. But they should have plenty of capacity at that point, but. I don't know, I feel like we shouldn't follow the CPAs. That's how Act 2.1 got adopted.
Yeah.
Led to $1 billion loss of the state. The financial people have been involved, tax people, and there's nothing wrong with them, but it's how they think. I feel like we should go our own way, but it's a good example because we're not as greedy as the CPAs were.
Yeah, but it's the same formula. It's not.
It is. I use their definition of local vendor.
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's good precedent. So you don't have to argue the point. I think it's based on how many Hawaii employees are working on that contract. So you could be based on the mainland, but if you have, I think if it's 80% or more local employees, then you can get a preference. But you're using one here, right? They thought it free, so we'll see. But yeah, you're right. We should find out the dynamic, what happened there. Anyway, we'll see. We'll look out. You know, hopefully there'll be some fireworks.
Right? So I think now is tour time. We're gonna take a quick break from this format. We're gonna follow cutting forward.
Can we leave our stuff in?
We can. And then for those that want.
We're not going anywhere yet.
Oh,
Yeah, so if you guys want to taste what Hollow tastes, you just pull it fresh and pop it and. Happy to share with you guys about tastes.
We pass it all around.
Yeah, this is for you guys to take home though.
Yeah.
So.
You guys didn't have to share. You guys could have had your own.
So rich.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to take home.
Yeah, yeah, so Kākoʻo Schultz, the CEO here, ED, Kākoʻo ED. And what we proposed to talk about today was, some of you know history and mission of Kākoʻo, but we've been talking about sustainable agriculture and food systems this year. And so this site visit is about seeing what it's like in real life.
Yeah.
IRL. And focus a little bit of your remarks on how you're handling workforce issues. That's one of the things we've been discussing in the commission. And then also like, what do value added products like Kulolo Crunch do for your overall operation? And how are you thinking about that? That's it.
Well, sure, let's go then. Just walk up to Kākoʻo, of course. Really quickly, if you look at the 1928 aerial image over there, we see almost 300 acres of that.
Yeah.
Okay. Move forward from 1928 to 1970. We have on the other wall, really, what is it put that collage together? But it was important that we felt at Kākoʻo that people that come to the area understand that we're standing on shoulders of other people, right? It wasn't like we created all of this, that Kupuna fought and protested and stopped the development from happening in the 70s, as you can see in there, where the land was owned at the time by Columbia Schools. And at one meeting, they kind of laughed at me because on that sign, you actually have anti-Rocky voting people, not profits. And I'm constantly not yelling at them, but pushing for like, what is our profit return? What is our profit return? So a little bit sarcastic in that. Fast forwarding from the 70s of the protest to 1992, when Governor Waihee was looking at bidding a state address, there was a pamphlet bid from Japan to buy this property for $25 million from Columbia Schools. They basically traded land in Kākoʻo to Columbia Schools for remnant parcel lands, and the state of, or ACDA, got basically city preservation, state urban. Okay, so moving forward to 2000, we started at Paipaiahe'eia. 2010, we got a 30-year lease. So at the time we got the lease, it was still city preservation, state urban. And so once we got the SMA exemption, the fact that we were in urban land, we were able to really push really fast after that. And then I just printed out some copies. We should make a poster of it, but this is the new the new city designation or the new ACDA designation for us, right? So our land district is actually Valhoala, Valopia-Kalo, and Valkahua, right? And so we're able to get our ACDA authority to put these land terms in as our, not urban anymore. It's not conservation, it's Valkahua, you know? So why that was important for Kākoʻo is that it allowed us to then really build quickly a lot of the different structures
almost so quickly that we understood how HCDA, which is just a two-page permit. Andrew Newman, who's our engineer and architect. Once we started just drafting out building after building with staff engineers, but we paid for it. We just started to really, really build fast, which then panicked HCDA. So with the houses that you guys are seeing going around right now, they actually want us now to go to the city.
What?
They want us to go to the city on that, and we are pushing back on HCDA because
Is it built?
it's stamped and approved and engineered, which basically allows us to build it very quickly. But they're surprised at how quickly we're moving with this building, with other buildings. And so I think they're trying to pause us right now. And they're great guys. So I just got great people. So I just got to sit down and kind of find out why they are blocking us. But when I go to Keone or ask you guys for worker housing, that is the design that we want to build. It's a 2-story. It allows the person and the family residing in there to basically come out and look around before they open the door. It's hurricane proof. I mean, it's ready to go. And so today I was just gonna drive you guys around the property. Did anybody bring a truck?
I kind of have a truck.
How many can you hold? You might take 5. Okay, I can take 5 too. Yeah. So basically, how much time do I have left with you guys?
A little over an hour.
Okay. Yeah, because I'll make this meeting quick. So I want to show you the different property, but yeah, that's basically what we're trying to push now. Kind of doing it in reverse, right? As Kākoʻo, you guys are nonprofit. Most nonprofits look at different types of funding lines, right? How do we survive right now? We were really blessed to have a lot of federal money. That right now is our kitty deal because we have so much federal money. And so, the pandemic kind of showed us we needed to start pivoting to more revenue. And so we do have product lines such as what we're looking at. Initially, Kākoʻo grew all kinds of things. We had, poha berry, we had asparagus, we had sweet potato, corn, sunflowers. Our farmers at the time was very, very interested in a wide range of things, but they were getting bored with farming hollow. But every flood that came through wiped everything out, flood hollow. And so finally, I pulled the plug on all the projects, which upset a lot of people, but our primary person is hollow, it's aloha. And so looking at aloha, we forced everyone to kind of look now, what are the value adds that come from aloha? And so for Kākoʻo ʻiwi, the value adds now that you see is aloha. You put kalo and poi, which you guys are eating, also the kulolo crunch, baby food, we're trying to go with people provisions on that. HPP is a whole nother issue. Kulolo crunch, which was simply like 3 Thanksgivings ago, but when they make the pumpkin crunch, we're like, hey, can you make this out of kulolo? We just added more coconut milk and pumpkin crunch was there. I don't know, it's just how do we value add aloha, which is sacrilegious in itself, but whatever, that's me. That's kind of the economic revenue stream that we're trying to build on. Fast forwarding now, the profit that we generate from the food that we do, we then use it as leverage points against grant. We then leverage more grant money, right? So it's kind of building I don't want to say Ponzi scheme, but it's basically leveraging revenues, right? So that when we can get donations and grants, we then leverage more grants to then help out people out and things.
Can you do agriculture? I mean.
We can, we do. It's a very, we gotta really look at it. Like what is by putting a farmer off the agritourism, what are we losing by that individual here, she not working in the field? No.
What if you contract that out? Partner up.
It has to work. It has to work. No. I'm fine with contracting out. It just has to be big.
Right.
Right. But you can talk about the darn at Kualoa, like you have the ag system, and you have this tourist system. Like there's not much. There is obviously the chapters, but you don't see as much mingling that then also weddings and stuff. And unless there's charge of Honolulu and all of that, right? It's just how do we really build that in? So. Yeah, I don't that's a big, for our costs going in one direction, what are we giving up by doing the other? But
well, events, it's, I mean, everybody's looking for events, it's beautiful, and I think gets on about, and then that doesn't
necessarily here because everything's costed out there. All the cost of the event is all.
When we cater ourselves, that's when we see the revenue coming more, they just utilize this facility as a space. So it's a balance. Like everybody thinks movies, but people don't realize when a movie comes in, it shuts everything down.
Yeah.
And if we're grossing like 20,000 a day or that, then they gotta be paying that amount. If we're not moving that amount, then. Sorry, we're not making 20,000 a day. I'm just saying. There's a cost.
That's the goal.
Yeah. There's a cost.
It's the biggest barrier to make it.
Biggest barrier to making money is the land resource development, we need to from the environment to the community itself, the radio, you know. As we drive you guys around right now, we have.
Putting that in detail, I don't think it's that.
So you look around right now, you look at that old map right there, you see 300 acres in agriculture. That was 300 acres in agriculture in 1928. Right now, we're dealing with the species, we're dealing with lack of water, we're dealing with too much water in some locations. We're dealing with a community that has not evolved with agriculture for many years, so we're in the process of training them. That's not anybody's fault. That's just, I call that the environment. That's what I meant with the environment, right? So it's not just a simple thing of, oh, you have land, you have water with your college. Hey, okay, now we gotta train the person. We gotta build the owner back for college. How many of you guys actually took Olin's?
I never had a choice, I just passed.
Okay, good. That's great, yeah, but it's developing the different markets and the different systems, and that's why I was so excited to talk to you guys, because a lot of you guys have actually looked into that system. And I'm not making excuses, it's just we're building it right now as we speak, you know? We looked at,
Kind of building a culture around.
I mean,
this.
yes, yeah, revitalizing our. And so we recognize that a lot of our volume of color that we grow and we buy goes from sugary stuff, goes to Kākoʻo, goes to poi, goes to little French. We're still in the process of trying to develop out the poi and the color and the color poke and all of those pieces, but it'll come definitely.
Can people make a decent like farm here? Can we make
We can make a decent living because we control vertically the market. We control from all the way to the grapes. And we can sell Kulolo at a higher price. So yeah, they can make it more than a living wage. Everybody here is getting paid well above the minimum right now. Our average is about $25 an hour. But we can only do that because I had about 1,000 here. Yeah. So is that livable wage? That's tough, right? Is that, I mean, that's above. They're not together, that's above.
Do they have a home?
Barely.
Do they have homes?
That's why I need you guys help getting these the housing.
It's livable if the house is tough.
What about utilizing, potential programs like, women that, maybe, coming from domestic violence type of situations and needing work and, partnering with some of those to get work or support.
Happy to.
Kind of cross-reference for some of the social issues that we're dealing with, but, everybody needs a job and I know there's a labor shortage, but perhaps maybe it can offer us.
So we're happy to hire them if you know how we can get in touch with them.
No, I see
We're
that.
more than happy to work with them. Work with them.
Yeah.
How much time do you want for the tours on the trip?
I want to show you guys Alalo. We're gonna drive to Alalo right now. It's like
The power or being produced here.
the farm was producing about 1,000 pounds a week, and then we had a little bit of a drop, and we'll be back to 1,000 pounds in 2 weeks. We also buy about 890 pounds a week right now, which is a little bit off of what we wanted, but we're processing about 2,800 pounds a week right now.
Can you talk
I was thinking about basically.
this year?
Yeah, so this building was built during the pandemic. It was all private monies that was built on this because we had built this before the pandemic. We couldn't use any federal monies for this building, but it basically was certified commercial kitchen and foil mill. And with the National Estuary Research Reserve, which we created for this place, they're actually funding another PAC money is called. So we're building a permanent roof starting on Monday, actually. And so it'll be solar panel and the roof will kick out another 10 feet out that way. And it'll basically be, it'll be pretty dope actually.
We're making for you on Sunday if anyone's.
Every Sunday, yeah.
Come and see me. Last
You're-
month.
you're over
Went to
there.
Waianae School Kids Luncheon, so.
That production is planned to expand?
So we just went to Iowa to buy a Van Martin machine, which basically peels the column. And so we'll be here on this Sunday hand peeling. And we hope by January, we'll have a mechanical peeler that can do about 120 pounds in 5 minutes.
That's the same one, Mama.
I know better. It's different. Ma'o's is more for parents, which is the soft shell. Ours is on roller. And so Nick and I and Blaine, we flew up to Iowa last week and we brought up 160 pounds of tallow and we tested it. And we were really, really pleasant, surprised about it. $80,000. But it's gonna be, we know already from our numbers, it'll save with our labor and morale. So,
So you guys gotta come on Sunday before you.
yeah. Just to experience the cramp in your fingers.
First time Holly guys like, hey, go feel the
No,
call.
Like just like the certified emo that you have over there, we're gonna also always do traditional. It's important that, and like we literally will bring out the OPE shelves and try it out, you know what I mean? But it's important to honor that past, but also recognize that right now we're just trying to feed and get a pipe to our community at a total price. So, but I just wanted to show you that that's because everybody just thinks of development like city preservation, residential, state urban conservation. It's actually this property is nuanced, and I do appreciate HCDA on that. I know the city and HCDA often do things sometimes, but that's okay.
How
So
many cars are like?
Wait, do you have a real truck here?
You do. Yeah. No.
3 or 4 days.
Okay.
Yeah. Two
So
trucks.
I need, two trucks. I just need 2
So
trucks.
go ahead, her, Gus, I can.
Perfect.
I can.
Yeah. So let's go. That white truck, I can take 4 or 5 in the back and then 4 in the inside. Then I'm gonna, come on.
Rachel's interested. So, I think we heard Joe. We can leave our stuff here, right? Yeah.
Yeah. There's cameras everywhere. You can.
Okay, good. Then I don't think I do.
Now who's only left here?
Is that after we were going? You guys have any questions first though, or anything?
Definitely.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
My wife and I were like.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
I don't know, I gotta. Huh? The view.
And then I can fit 4 inside.
Ariel. See you.
Who be talking?
Melissa.
Who's talking?
Gotta film kind of close. You wanna come on here or are you gonna go inside?
I don't know.
You have bench here?
Who be talking?
We can do that. Oh, you can go to the front? What if we're just gonna drive around
Around the property.
How many can fit in the bed? Ugh, I've never done. That's probably a better.
Everybody in.
Are we all going to truck?
Now, I know you guys love riding in the back, which I'm 100% down with, but also can fit 4 inside. So, what's your? Okay. Maybe one more.
Come on, then.
Boy, I want to go in the back of this. One more in the back.
Let's go, Manoa.
Ah.
I don't know. Hopefully not.
I'm jealous.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, you wanna jump in with, why don't you 2 jump in the truck with me? Okay.
You can't see me.
Wow.
Okay. This way. Deputy.
Deputy.
Okay, there's what, 6, 7 of us? Okay.
Okay.
Someone else make it to the end.
Okay.
Like, wait, we get there, it was like 5 people.
Yeah.
Last time on the sun, Amy and I were on this.
Yeah.
That was
UTV.
a little rocky.
UTV. We were driving
Is that
backwards.
rocky?
Oh, for like a good quarter mile.
Oh my gosh. Cool, cool. And he was wearing white pants. What?
It's like, oh, are you?
Like number one pants, you know? Think about that.
On Zoom.
Did anyone log on?
Stacy's on here.
Stay.
And Bridget and April.
Working hard.
It's like Jurassic Park.
The very cinematic.
I know.
First ever. Talk about innovation.
I can even do this.
Oh,
We don't come out on this side that much.
Contractors from international markets.
Oh.
So like Japan, Canada, all the places that we market to,
Sell to.
right? Sell to.
Yeah.
And
HTA too.
yeah, that we HTA.
Yeah.
Like they're all in all and it's lucky.
How far is gonna? Fiber optic.
No, I said we're lucky. No, we're lucky.
Lucky to live here.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. Oh. It's just like, it's not that great. You know, whatever, they're like, you fuck it, it's a balance. So, wow, it's a clown. But they travel, it'd be different if they hadn't traveled off the island. I mean, they travel.
Holy
so.
dude,
It'll be
Williams
like
Lane is
later,
deep.
later in life. they'll be
Really?
like,
It's like,
look at the
like-
beauty of the.
your shorts will be gone.
Well, remember I shared it, it takes till like they're 26.
We're like, no, we're like a low ES. We get down here, right, that's what I'm saying.
Exactly.
So we were.
Well, let's make it house.
Get one seat right here. Okay,
That's
so
so
real
funny.
quick, you're up at Pu'ulani, where the right side is basically with our partnership with University of Hawaii at Manoa and NRAM, to basically do a food forest. We really wanted to look at, as we developed out this food forest with Miley Wong, Leah Bremer, Tamara Tickum, like how and what do we do to build a food forest? I love the fact that, and I always tell my daughter, like, they're mostly Wahine that designed this, so all of the bananas you see here, traditionally women could eat, they're iholena. Looking to my right, and I'm gonna be fast because I really want to take you guys to Alaloa. To the right side is most of our lo'is. It's really important to know that when we first started this project, the amount of native birds that we had here was 0. And now you basically see a lai ula, a lai ke'o, like right inside here, there's a little black bird that's by itself. That's actually a lai ke'o. It comes in the winter. You'll see a lai ula running around. A lai ula, there's only 400 left in the entire world. We have about 36 right now growing here. We have IO, right? So it's just an indication that when we institute native Hawaiian agricultural systems, the native systems flourish. And that's the hope. Real quick, the whole idea that we have here is not too much. It's kind of common, but when you're walking on the beach, the wave washes up, the wave recedes, all of your footprint out full of water, right? Same idea here. You have a lo'i established. Those are our footprints of our ancestors. Rain comes down, flood goes through. Guess what happened? Each of those footprints now full of water. Each of those footprints not only just full of water, they're also full of sediment. So if we can increase residence time, slowing down the water, increasing the amount of sedimentation or sediment trapped in our lo'i systems, the local ia that's below us, the beautiful reefs of Malauka'a that is below us, will no longer have that same sedimentation. Holy shit, what if we did something like that? I don't know, the Alawai golf course. Maybe we could actually increase the revenue of Waikiki. I don't know, maybe. So that is proven here. So now that we all agree about footsteps, we came in the water. Now we do the analogy of an ice tray. You have an ice tray like this, water comes here, fills up each of the ice trays. Yeah. You look out now here, you see a giant ice tray of 200 acres. If you hold in 1 foot of water, 1 acre, you're holding about 500,000 gallons. Imagine 100 acres. You're at 50 million gallons. Okay. Imagine now that 50 million gallons in 100 acres is now held at 5 feet. Now you have 250 million gallons per event in 100 acres. We have 300 acres of wetland. Now you're at 750 million gallons per rain event. It's a substantial amount of water that we can bank here. Now, I cannot say we're doing recharge that we're down at the base of lands, but what if I did something like that in Waimano, which is below Palisades? What if we talked about Pipapago, building something like that? Now we're actually leading to the repayment, recharge, and reinstatement of our native system. And hopefully more water. There. Anyway, in front of us, you see the Alai Ula. They're just kind of cruising right now. The minute we get low, all the Alai Ula will run into the kalo, but up here, they kind of just let us kind of watch. Any questions? Hey, Mounty now?
How much lo'i are you folks farming yourselves versus doing like the adopt a look programs?
Only in the very front are the Ohanas. And the reason for that is we couldn't have the Ohanas come way back here. So they're only staying in the very, very front. I mean, trusted one, like Ola would get offered that, because I know you're not from Sioux. But we always gotta be cognizant, speaking to the lawyer, of the potential risk, yeah? The truth is, like, what if we had the Ohanas back here and there was a flood event?
Yeah.
I mean, that's honest. And so, yeah, so you're looking at right now, just a 10-acre section. Way in the distance, you kind of see these little white buggers running around, that's all the sheep. One of the conversations they have with AGT right now is the construction of a slaughterhouse for small animals. Kākoʻo is very interested in growing sheep. For the very fact that we can provide small amount, white label or custom exempt for that slaughterhouse. Yeah, so the mission, right? Kākoʻo will use peripheral areas, fencing to allow the sheep to eat. It'll eat down all of the grasses to homogenize to a California grass system. Will then come in to either harvest the hay or weed it out to then open up lo'i kalo. Real simple. Utilization of sheep to do it. Any questions?
So you want this whole area here that we're looking at
And behind us.
and behind us, the sheep, they're gonna start clearing. And then ultimately it's.
We're looking at about 300 acres of some kind of management in the wetland. And then we have the hillside where you see the albizia have been poisoned and killed. And that's about 100 acres of food forest.
Are you guys using albizia? That was crazy.
So everybody talks about that. It's the cost is brutal.
You know, there's that guy in.
No, I know, but you go up there, you harvest that 100-foot tree and you try to bring it down intact. Like that's the whole thing. Like there's a missing.
Yeah.
There's a missing component. I mean, Melissa's actually the one point. You wanna like it's just the amount of labor it takes to actually bring that log down without cracking it completely. It's I mean, we're gonna attempt stuff, right, with the carbon sequestration and the biochar, but it's yeah.
Yeah, so move it.
Boss lady.
We can do a speakerphone if you guys have any questions. Sorry, you're so far. You got tip them. You got tip them.
Yes, it's all. Yeah, probably.
Really?
I have. Well, I have to function if you. How you buy a Jeep? You never have to watch it.
Oh, that's what I started. It's like, I'm proud, I never wash my car here.
Yeah, if you go in.
But they got a nice
the
deal
banana
there,
leaf,
stick to it. They got the
That's like
access
where
to
the
it.
stream is.
It's gonna.
Yeah, so you either take that shack and then there's a stream that runs down here.
Applies to all your friends. Vote for the city, you don't sit behind them.
Hi.
Yeah. First day.
Today your first day?
First day, right?
Sure, tomorrow.
It's stage. It must be.
I don't like it. It's too disconnected.
Yeah.
Where were you at the state?
Yeah, I was OPSD. Yeah.
This PFD.
Office of Planning and Sustainable.
Thank you.
It's your basically if you're trying to implement something. So we build the database.
So like it's been 8 years.
Job security. All right, bye later.
Yeah, that's not the type of job straight out of.
Bye. Because that was like my job offer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is your time to.
Yo busco Forabi. Soy yo.
Oh,
Wondering if I like that's me.
So hard to find though.
So that's Leo that was growing back there. Did it that's
I think so. Yeah, no, they sell the hot eel salad here.
yeah.
you got it last time.
Yeah.
You was the last.
Yeah.
I bought the last one.
My friends are trying to find where we could buy hot eel.
Is it only here?
Yeah.
Oh, it's nice. Yeah, I see.
Yeah, I was like, should we just I eat just to pick up?
That could be our next staff community. Yeah,
I can give you the
steps down here. That's back here. Sure, your daughter would love that.
Oh, I know that.
Guillotine while we're picking oil.
It's like, Mom, you're going up to me. What today? Oh, on Rocky.
No.
I'll send you everything.
I think it was on site. It's not off.
No, no, I'll do it.
I brought it. It's funny. He ended up playing football for third.
It's crazy.
Whole team, they did the finals. And he was from South America. So, oh no, 100%. Goodbye. You need to go again.
No, didn't happen last time.
Nowhere.
We were no, we were deep in there. On a UTV.
Down little area. I don't think. Pretty much. Like a graveyard.
That's my point.
Oh, this is the backside. Oh, I got you.
But I thought. Nice.
Just for the workforce housing.
That's the entrance.
I know we're a city commission, but I thought it's still the. Like DPP, like. We can't stop everything.
Not like a neighborhood, you know.
But there was nothing wrong with it. It was like a 2-bedroom house. It just looked normal. It wasn't crazy.
So, sure.
Sometimes the issue is zoning. You can't build residential on ag land.
It's the whole 80%.
So many people got to approve every single thing we do.
Yeah.
DPP has this whole tech system thing going up, right? And that's mainly for them or something.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoa. Whoa. Gimbal is awesome. I know. That's really good. It really is.
That was a get rich or not investment.
Yeah, no workout to stay steady.
The next
exactly
level
what it's
stick.
for. Metro Girl was the first one, right? That we used that?
Yeah, I had Alex.
Yeah.
Alex steer the wheel.
It's come a long way.
Yeah, she gotta teach you. Like, wow.
I remember that day. She was like, what am I doing? Oh. On this. It's still working, was it? It's still working.
I say come out.
So you getting out?
Yes. Yeah.
Gripping on the side of this thing.
Open the door. So we're gonna do a sleep and hop off it, I think.
Oh, Blake, where were you?
Oh.
Oh. Oh, hi. Nah, you should have enjoyed the other.
Oh, yeah, like,
Building doesn't take long. Getting permission takes.
Kākoʻo is. Yeah. Thanks for the reminder. So who's here for like now? Kākoʻo is, we have amazing staff and the ability and support from the city, the ability and support from HCDA, Senator Kākoʻo, Representative Kitagawa, the legislature to build that system out to allow us to do this was really, really important. This is a very, very unique area in that SMA ends right here. HCDA's property ends right here. And so yet for Kākoʻo, this is the main throughput of all of our flooding, right? And even when you talk about He'eia means to slide, right? And everybody thinks of flooding as really bad, but we also see He'eia and the change that occurs. The flooding is the way that it brings nutrients and sediment evenly across an entire wetland. Right? So when our fields start to decrease, by having that moderate pulse that comes through, that drops that quarter centimeter of sediment, it actually is one way that we are replenishing our island. Right? And so this is always an understanding of like how do we create pulse which helps to rejuvenate the whole system, but not too much of a pulse that then affects the fish pond and the reef below, right? And so at Kākoʻo, we knew that this was the main thoroughfare, the only parting structures on our entire creek system. And basically, initially, before we worked with the city on it, you could see where the debris line was. And actually where the spray paint line was the actual one. So there were areas under the bridge that were only maybe 8 to 10 feet left. And when Kamehameha Schools developed this land, they sold all the rights of the stream to the owner. So this is the Uchi that lives in that house actually owns this parcel on each side.
Oh,
Springfield, who lives on that side, actually owns that stream. And so it was the intention that they never could have maintained this land. And the area that we crossed was actually owned by Kamehameha School. And so HCDA was also landlocked out of access here. So with the support of Kamehameha School, with the support of HCDA, we were able to maintain this old ramp road that came down, which then allowed the city to then help to clean up that area. We cannot legally bring our machine into the stream, but we can bring our machine onto the cement into the stream.
Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
So there's all these little nuances that we understand. And of course, if I made a mistake, I'm sorry. But that's the whole understanding. We cannot put zip barriers in the middle of the stream, which we'd love to do to mitigate the pulse event of the energy that's going to come down. So all we could legally do is remove vegetation below the cement level, which was in the photo. And this now functions as an ability to mitigate those big boulders that are going to be rolling down during the next flood. It should get stuck right in here. Now, if we have a 100-year flood zone, all of this is gone. But if we had a 100-year flood zone with the debris this high, all of this would have been gone anyway, right? So for us as Hawaiians, we have an opportunity now to remake traditional agricultural systems in the middle of this super residential area. Okay. And so that's like how we talk about economic revitalization. Like this is a place where obviously with Nate that lives here and other people live here, it's like a way that we can make these lands a little bit more viable for everyone and yet still be part of it. Issues that we're finding now is when killing his kid or all his boys are older, but everybody working here all gotta wear hobbies now because for 50 years, guys would throw bottles over this edge. So if you look around, there's a fair amount of glass here that we're gonna be over the next 10 years digging it out. Since we own this hillside right here, we're gonna put epoxy and we're gonna make a mosaic of glass. Hopefully, you know, it'll be cool. Anyway, let's go walking. Any questions so far? Yeah, so big issue we have right now is the water is split. So we're gonna use these sumps to basically funnel that water in that feeds here. We have a 10-inch pipe that goes right through here that then funnels the water into our hallway that flows right through here. But you guys mind walking with me? Gary Navy, sorry, 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Right, really, really simple system. Okay. So simple. I just did it this morning. Okay. Rolled out. Anyway.
This is yours.
Yeah.
And it's gonna become.
All these will be open pond. Loading.
Where is it?
Great question. Alright, so this was a floodplain, the amount of sediment that's in here, high levels of rock. As we move closer and closer to the base, it turns into less and less rock. Okay. Again, when we talk about land restoration in marginal valleys that are floodplains, how do we generate economic viability, right? It is traditional agricultural system. It provides all of those benefits. Thank you.
How long after you start doing this, do you see we've got?
Which candy?
Are we okay?
Racing it to the instead of it. Installing machine.
Actually, I never heard of these, but I know like other, like go. I just had to add at a club or something, or
no, it just really depended on the time.
I didn't have the.
He or she is, instigated, right?
Yeah.
Do the paperwork and.
Yeah.
And the hard part is like, if it's a 5-year flood, then yeah, you're gonna be able to absorb it. But if it's a 100-year flood, you weren't gonna be able to absorb that anyway. Right, so you can see like, well, if you had a 100-year flood here, probably cost you. On the beach here. The worst flood we ever saw was only 2 feet, which is what we took this for. So yeah, so you can see the amount of rocks get less and less and less and less and less. Obviously, watch out for the holes, they're still very much open. But we had the tractor go into till to see, so we actually might make this into lo'i, make that possibly into lo'i, depending on how much help we have with cleaning it out. And then the furthest one, we might just make it into water creek, I don't know. But again, the whole premise is that 10-inch hole will double in size with weight, with volume during a pulse event, which will then overrun these systems, right? And so you can see we're high here, it dips low, right? So it fills, floods, back into the stream. Very small system. We're not trying to bank it, right? Obviously, the volume of water we're banking is at Kākoʻo ʻiwi, right? In those massive acreage. This is more of a demonstration for our partners and our neighbors to see, and schools. So like Melissa pointed out, I should fish on it too. And K Elementary, right? Big issue, right? $550 a bus. Principal Garcia is there, so they're actually Haiti Elementary School kids are going to walk here. So we're clearing out this section, putting a little tent that can be broken down, and then we're going to just have potable water for them to rinse. But this is their location. Obviously, they're going to wear tabis, but they are more than excited. You guys can walk with me for 10 more minutes. We'll get you back by 2.
Right out, running on that.
State Chinese. Switch to ducks. Chicken will die. So he's
Recorded.
But then you're right.
Yeah.
It's like everything, those things are.
You can go back on our YouTube and rewatch.
I do.
Yeah, you're my personal bio. It's not that I'm in it.
I know. I'm going to say. I was going to, but this week has turned out.
I have a thought.
Yeah, Friday, man. That was the stress of yesterday.
Yeah, it's all the document. We're at 4 o'clock. Yeah, it's early. Right. I agree with that.
Let me know if your arm getting tired. Oh, that actually okay so far.
Design is that, we
It's actually okay.
a lot of the howl cracks, right? Because the howl, even though we're gonna be opening low on the other side of the howl bush, it provides a physical barrier to help filter out a lot of the pulsing going through here. Same with the design, as these fill up into the flow, it'll flow right back into the stream. And then we will be clearing out all of this vegetation. There used to be an old pond on this side. We're gonna basically rebuild that out. And then for Kākoʻo ʻiwi, we will continue opening up lo'i running through here. Again, we really are fortunate with certain pieces to be able to move forward with the grubbing and grading and the soil conservation plan. But our economic return, because it's agriculture, is still not gonna be like, you're not gonna see that major return. But and this is like, monetization versus monetization, right? It's just that buildup of that mana, building up of that intrinsic and extrinsic value that is away from a monetary side. And that's the hardest one to measure, but makes people feel really good, right? And so that's that piece that we're always trying to strive for. I am trying to get this whole piece economically viable, but it did require a huge investment. I don't know. Hey, money now. Is one of those walk through? Nah, we gotta go back.
Housing is gonna be.
Yeah. I should have just said, yeah, we'll put one here, but I wanted to get you guys here. For us, this is one of our showcase pieces, right? Because again, the amount of vegetation that was here was like honestly 8 feet higher than what you see today. I mean, it was just crazy invasive. Yeah, something like that. And with the support of the city and the partnership and support that they brought, and then the staff that we had here focusing on this, the money that was allocated from the state. Was just a lot of things happening, a lot of pieces coming together.
What is this, the culvert, like the cement part, how far does it go back? Like it goes all the way?
As far as you think, maybe up to three more houses.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, that's it.
And what's a challenge for Kākoʻo even now is that the neighbors all own in the stream,
Yeah.
but there is no mechanization that can remove those massive Java plum trees. And so they're like, why didn't you go further up? And I'll explain that later. You're like,
I know.
And so it's just a challenge, right? It's just kind of looking at it. But again, for Kākoʻo, we are fortunate that we have the support and we have the skill set and the people for us to implement the pieces that we need to implement through Memorial assignment. And that's what we're doing. Okay.
The water is going further.
So what's happening is actually split further down. It goes like that. So one goes to the left and the other goes to the right. And then the right one feeds a diversion called Wingwood Pie, and the left one feeds a diversion called Pup. Oh, it's like Wingwood Pie because that's the name of the Nature Conservancy building. Like you tell them, hey, you got fun this morning. Okay, any questions? Cool, we're gonna walk back. Notice there's no mosquitoes here. Pretty lucky.
Because the water moved.
It's because there's mosquito fish in there. No, it's just it's really dry. So and then another mo'olelo is when the yellow, when the hull is yellow, he's present and we're on them. We're holding on. We'll make it. Okay.
Does the Army Corps have any funding to help support some of this work?
I'll ask you in the truck. Sorry. Okay. You always wonder who's on the camera with us.
Oh, yes.
Live streaming.
I forgot that.
Yeah. No.
The Zoom recording.
Next time, when you gotta adjourn the meeting.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we got too much. It's a really sunny day over here, a lot of sunshine. So let's keep the camera on. That's But that's the conversation of like, as we look at land restoration, what do we see? Right? What is the restorative level of what we need to do? Oh, yeah. The other side of it. These pieces that small too? No.
It's
Nice. To the nowhere, we're like, you know.
Take part.
The edge of. Yeah.
And just watch you guys feed for these open. We gotta cover them up.
For fire department.
Well, this view for the neighbors is much better than the.
But literally, it's.
Would do they have them to do like control the burn?
No, they have to basically. turn it down.
Oh,
But so each neighbor has to be responsible
for their,
yeah.
and then what do you do for the insurance? Like, something happens if it's on your little.
Yeah. So with these last fires, they almost didn't get fire insurance. So bringing better.
I know.
In a heavy rain.
I know. It seems like we've had that the last.
And then, you know.
So again, yeah, the 100-year flood zone, the most we've ever seen here was basically at the Weepo height. And so we believe. All of these rock. Yeah. All of these rock. Better than that. White dredging had the zip barrier deal. And got a phone call on the zip barrier. I was like, sure, we'll take zip barrier. So a lot of our people, the engineers called out for zip barriers to be put into the ground. We basically did that. Because we've got a 4-chain zip barrier in a wetland system where you have a faulty vent. It's really hard to move. Right? But each of those, there's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Right, so that whole thing is chained together, so everything that's about 100-year flood zone, we were basically
Yeah.
at our knees of water. Yeah, this whole thing.
I was bodyboarding and I was boarding with my friends.
It might start.
And they just like, yeah.
You have a different here.
Yeah.
Right, and so. How did I build that system, right? So the whole energy is being loaded up. Right here, right there.
Let's get the back.
I'm gonna be brave.
Yes.
Anything gravitational, anything gravitational.
Yeah. And you can give your daughter more content for her next.
They're not. I get like 117 and then.
All stars are across the board.
All right, 2 o'clock, let's go, load up.
Some are wicked. And that's not even including.
I can't end this until they.
Beneath top.
Lurks in the mirror.
It's lurking below. That, I don't listen to no. Oh, no.
You're wrong.
You're the acting chair. I can't in the back of the truck.
You get an actual chair.
How we close this?
I can do that.
Oh, oh, can you not close it from the inside? Yeah.
Right.
Oh.
Look cute.
First day.
It's a mom and me.
Glad to understand. I was like, why are you still taking pictures of me, Mama?
I signed, be 50 years old and I'll be taking pictures of you.
Happy first day. I am gonna say.
Grade 42. You went to Farmland yesterday.
I know.
Open, right?
I want to check it out. It looks so cool. But ʻiwi cash and carry. It's like closer. I want to say it's like closer to the Makali side. Like not close to Mo'ili, I want to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
It said it's close to her house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's down by, down Purple Mile. So.
You know what building they went into?
That's what I was.
Oh,
saying.
ʻiwi cash and carry, like that pizza place. It's also by the vegan izakaya, I want to say.
Yeah.
Along the same.
Okay. So
Ooh, that place.
funny.
Yes, exactly.
Chicken milk spot, chicken milk.
That's a great location.
Yeah.
Nice.
What?
Yeah. We're gonna go Thursday afterward.
Yeah.
Vegan sushi is surprisingly good.
And
Haven't been.
I keep hearing about that place.
I was,
Yeah. You skeptical?
I was super
It's like
skeptical.
right by rent. Where you rented.
And then you were
really minded. And then you were
And
open.
then it was really, really good.
I've
Been
eaten
there a
it.
couple times.
I thought it sounds weird.
It sounds
When someone
weird.
goes, let's go eat vegan sushi, I'm like,
It sounds super weird. And a friend was like, oh no, I've been there. It's really good. I was like.
clever profile.
Plastic. Just gonna put. Nice. Don't play off. POV.
You see the lights here at Australia.
Oh,
My question. Oh, no.
Oh, thank you. Wow. Wow. They heard that.
Oh, no, my. This is our hat.
I thought about it. I knew that was gonna happen.
Stop.
Oh, thank you, Mako.
Mhm.
My best friend and I, after that, went from Washington and rode down.
Oh my goodness.
Backpack and then like.
Thank you.
bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where did you backpack?
We started off Cannon Beach and we found some place to just rest the night and after that we go off the trail like the Fox Trail. But that is.
South?
North, yeah.
Okay.
Cause we went, we were gonna head out to Vancouver, cause we were gonna.
About 30 minutes.
Especially Washington and Oregon, you literally just go off the side. Here.
Slides of it.
Yeah. We'd love to do that. You kind of. Bridget, our board, she's giving. Yeah. Oh.
Enjoy it while you're young.
Dave.
Yeah. You can stay in hostels and can't when you're single.
Accidentally ended it. Oh. Oopsie. Oops. Sorry. Well, we're here till 4.
Really?
Yeah, so 2 to 4 is the loading time, because it's just all into us. But 12 to 2 is like the machine meeting.
Quite late.
Yeah. Am I back on? I accidentally ended it, I think.
She lost her hat.
You did? Yeah, I did. In the wind.
I know. Somebody's like, mom, like, sorry, laughing.
Yeah, how do you know?
You just
Probably heard
yelled.
the, yeah, the screaming. The screaming.
I think she knows not to text me because I don't watch and respond or answer.
She's like live.
Oh,
Happening.
I'm like, no.
So I think it'd be helpful if we, pick it up with comments on what this is doing. Anybody want to share a reflection?
I think the work they're doing is great. You need more of it.
Pretty special. Thank you.
That's a good staff, they're special, we are. And we love it.
I just need to transplant that to the other aqua.
You know, we are ready. We are ready to go to other Abubu'a. We are ready to help with other Aina. Just takes time to set up the correct foundations. So, we have a lot of people that are interested.
Ko is not working on his own though, too. He has colleagues on other parts of the island. And they share their learning. And sometimes they compete for the next.
Yeah.
But
Oh, they win though.
but to have this amount of land. How it came through HCD, like Kamehameha schools to HCDA. To be able to steward this and to see some of the vision through to today and forward. Is, you know, it's like a series of like. People standing up for this island in particular, because you look what's right next door is a bunch of relatively new housing. Right, so how did that happen right next to this? All this land. And here we are today trying to like make sense of that juxtaposition. How do we help in the city? Our mission is economic development, economic revitalization. And we know some of these systems that you're working on actually reflect traditional ways of managing the Aina for the betterment of people. I'm just. We've been talking this year, what can we do to help sustain? Because that's truly what I think the city and our work is about, is sustaining the people and sustaining our food, taking care.
Yeah, so like you said, sustaining our people, my obligation to our families are first and foremost, right? Whether it's the birds and the fish or the kanaka. And so if you guys have advice or even opportunities for us to continue to build workforce housing for our staff, that would be one of the greatest gifts I could give to my staff, our staff. With the ability that we have on the land that's here to build, considering when we're ready. So I don't know if there's funds available or opportunities or even us a matching system. So just getting ready to build that in now would be tremendous. I actually pitched to O to try to help us buy that one house that's right there. So they're not she's ready to sell or not. But it's really that build up that system. But again, the gift that we have is our staff are amazing. It's just giving them a chance to kind of calm down where so many of them are losing renting, and you can see the flight that's going on where people are trying to sell houses. Yeah. And so a lot of our staff need that stability of a housing system. And not that I want them to be here 24/7, but I mean, it's just that how do we really build it? Yeah, first with the family. I don't know, that'd be huge for us, especially the resources we do have here. But I don't know how to go about asking you guys for money to do it. So, I mean, I might ask you for money, but it's that something that build out. So.
And so parts of it, because the city is honestly new to saying ag is something that we want to see flourish here. We have 2.5 people in the city whose job has the word agriculture in it somewhere. But we manage, a lot of land use and zoning and all sorts of other policies that impact what you can and cannot do, although we have the layering of HCBA. And then Olu is the one I think most experienced with a sort of newer fund, the Clean Water and Natural Lands Fund, which can help to either acquire or get easements for conservation, agriculture, and preservation of land. So that's an area to explore.
Are you guys working with ATC?
We are working with ADC on the development of that slaughterhouse in Nakamoto's. Yeah, so everybody's our company Kākoʻo has is the sheep. So whether we do white label or throughput, can be one of the main for the system for walking. Especially with its ability to mitigate fire risk, like when you damage to feet down the grass. But. I'm still, yeah, there's just a lot of people watching. With a lot more money than us. So we see the measurements of what they do, right? You're building a profitable slaughterhouse or building a profitable. This off two ladies like the pig farm, the pig farmers are going away like that, right? So if you want to make a profitable slaughterhouse, look at what's happening right now. It's profitable, but it's killing the industry of sheep, chickens, and fish. Only cattle survive, right? And that's not good for our community, right? So it's a lot of competition with that. I appreciate agency and their ability to hope that you can put on it. You know how much they advocate is that same for it, right? Everybody's watching.
Thought on workforce housing, if you think about it, building, what's this land? But what about, looking at condemned property, like there's areas, if you've overwalked, there's areas where houses are like falling apart. There's corridors. I don't know what their situation is. But what about, if they may be in Honolulu, they may not be very far, but instead of maybe trying to develop workforce housing on ag land, maybe it's making properties that are condemned and just maybe giving the multi family like duplexes or something. But maybe thinking out of the box of taking in already residential developed area to create the workforce housing instead of, trying to push the zoning on ag land.
You have to, if there's any section 8 housing that is available at what happened to try and qualify some of our staff that live within the region. It's just I know with the workforce housing that we can develop, but it was called out in agriculture and the Ixley Authority. There's supposed to be in front. It provides security also for our property and saying the amount of theft that we do have.
Yeah.
It would kind of be not only would they really help us by having our staff to be there and then they're but I think for some of our staff.
Yeah.
Understand your situation. I think any place right now would be better than anything.
Right.
So happy to look into it. And the truth is, as we develop other INA and other regions, maybe Pro City, Eva, or whatever, having workforce housing for that staff to do those
Right.
economic development revitalization would work. It might not work for the area, but there's a lot of city land and state land that could be revitalized.
Yeah, so, organizations and enterprises like these, that's kind of a sweet spot for every market, person community. So there's I think what I hope you guys got from today is having a more expansive view of what business and food systems are like, right? If you only think about food systems as a farm, with a profit model, you're gonna completely misunderstand what this is about. These are super complex, holistic approaches that have to weigh far more things than customers and profit, right? Like the number of beneficiaries that he's talking about, whether it's the birds, the plants, the apua, the neighbors, the kanaka, the workers, the people that they're selling the things to, the community and the kids and the education that come here, to our water, like these are all stakeholders in this business model. And so you have to take a more expansive view when you look at it. When you hear and you learn and you see what they're doing, because what might work for a traditional like business operation. Oh yeah, that's simple. You just go and do this. Doesn't work here because it's more complicated. There's a difference between a traditional for-profit business and a social enterprise, right? Where a social enterprise is trying to address a social or environmental problem. These types of organizations are even deeper than that. I like to call them the deep impact models, right? Because they're so holistic. There's spiritual elements to it. There's cultural elements to it. It's so rich with different types of capital. And when you have a business model with that kind of complexity, it's not easy to manage. But when you see all the work that's been done here over the last 17 years, and how he's been able to creatively piece all these things together to redo this landscape and do all of this restoration and bring the native birds back, bring back call production, do stream flow and water flow restoration and management that you've seen, right? Agroforestry, creating educational spaces for community, having profit generating earned revenue models
like, this is not easy to do, but these are what I've taught people, but I've gained a lot of clarity on working with these organizations for a long time. You know, we have to shift our mindset from these projects, from these these models as inspiring projects. We have to get away from them being inspiring projects, really understand them for what they are. These are like the life-giving sanctuaries for our future, right? Like these are the seed beds of innovation where we're learning how to be in better balance with our natural environment. As climate change happens, as our institutions start to unravel, you know, it's hard to predict what the future employee is going to look like in the next 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And so like, let's get into these types of places in all the Motu and across all of our islands has to be a strategy for us to protect against generational survival. And so what's really unique about these business models is they have that kind of generational potential, but they're also meeting current market vehicles of investment and doing business today, right? But they provide that transition and pathway if things start to get hairy for us here, right? The ships stop coming, we have to produce our own food, right? As climate change shifts and our water cycles start to shift, he went over it really quickly, but when he's talking about catching water, like in flood events, because that's how our water is going to come. Like we're not going to get steady rain over the course of the whole year like we've had. It's going to come in pulse events, floods, and drought. And so if you know that's our reality, then we need to catch the water to recharge our aquifer and keep the land abundant. If these guys are thinking about this kind of stuff for multiple generations, right? And being able to, you know, like, tap into ancestral infrastructure that still exists with our local systems, our Hawaii and all these things. Like we have that legacy of it that we've inherited here in Hawaii. We also have the legacy of ancestral wisdom, knowledge, practices, and values that are being repurposed and reinterpreted by folks like Koa and all these enterprises and social, like these island-based groups that are repurposing those models and those ways to solve for in a contemporary context. So gotta get away from thinking of these as just nice to haves and inspiring projects. Like this is essential community level infrastructure that's needed for us to have resilience.
So with that, I'm gonna adjourn the meeting so we can talk story on that. We believe some of us are going to. I'm not sure the movie. Who's gonna help with the movie? All right.
And I can